Sweet Softies here. Today I am going to show you a cute little tutorial on how to make Bingo or Bluey. It's the same pattern, but using different yarn colors you can create these two little pups. And as you can see, they are made using plush yarn. You'll get this nice pocket-sized plush once you finish. But you can definitely try it with medium weight yarn for an even smaller doll, and that would be the perfect keychain size. But these little plushes are great for little hands to pretend play with. Now, if you'd like, please follow along with the written pattern. I have that available as a PDF download. Please check the link in the description box below on how to download that. Let's go ahead and review the materials. You will need some super bulky weight 6 chenille velvet yarn in your desired colors. I'll be crocheting Bingo in this tutorial, but you can use blue yarns for Bluey. You will also need a 5mm crochet hook, 12mm plastic safety eyes, a yarn needle, stuffing, scissors, and thin black yarn to embroider the nose. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's crochet the muzzle. We're going to start off with a slip knot for our chain. Once you have the slip knot, let's go ahead and chain 2, 1 and 2. Then you're going to insert 8 single crochets in that second chain from your hook. So going into that second chain, I'm going to put in 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And after you do 8 single crochets, you're going to go ahead and fasten off with a long tail. You will go ahead and sew this to the head later. So just keep it on the side for now. If you like, go ahead and use some black thread to sew a little nose on the muzzle. Now for the head, we're going to begin with the darker color yarn. If you're making Bingo, you are using dark brown or that reddish brown. And if you are making Bluey, you are using the dark blue. For round 1, you are simply going to start with your slip knot for your chain. Then you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And then you're going to insert 8 single crochets into that second chain from your hook. So going into this second chain here, I'm inserting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 single crochets. That's that for round number 1. For round 2, we're going to go ahead and increase all the way around. Alright, so going into that very first single crochet, we're going to insert 2 single crochets for an increase. Increase again in the next stitch. Increase in the third stitch. And continue repeating this around. Now that you've gone all the way around, you should have 16 stitches around, and we are ready to move on to round number 3. For round 3, we're going to single crochet 3, increase, and repeat that around for a total of 4 times. That will give you 20 stitches total. So let's go ahead and let me demonstrate that. You're going to single crochet 1, 2, and 3, And in that next stitch, you're going to increase. So here I'm putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Repeat that around. Single crochet 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to increase. That's my second repetition. Here's the third one. 1, 2, 2 and 3 single crochets and an increase. And last one. 1, 2, 3 single crochets and an increase. That's that for round number 3. For round 4 to round 6, all you're going to do is single crochet around. And if you'd like to use a scrap piece of yarn, you can go ahead and put that before you start your round 4 to keep track of where your where the start of your round is. Go ahead and single crochet around. As you can see, I'm going just into each stitch with 1 single crochet. We're not going to increase or decrease here. We're just doing straight rounds. Here I have finished round number 6 of the pattern. We've got round 4, 5, and 6 here. Now to move on to round 7, you're going to get the lighter color yarn for the body. I'm using this lighter brown for Bingo, and for Bluey, you would be using light blue instead of dark blue. So switching over there. When you are ready to switch yarn colors, here is what you will do. For that last stitch, just pull up your working loop, like so. Then insert your hook into the last stitch. Just going through those 2 loops here. Here's a look. And now we're going to go ahead and pull through that lighter color yarn that you want to switch to. And you will just crochet normally in the next stitches. Oops, don't want to lose that loop. Okay, so into the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet, and keep working around. And you will basically single crochet around for rounds 7 to 8. As you can see, you've got a nice clean color change right here, going from dark brown to light brown. And when you are ready, when you've done a few stitches, you can go ahead and pull the working loop back. And as you can see, it'll just kind of be stuck over there. So you can fasten off with a bit of a tail and go ahead and hide that color, the dark brown, inside the body. We're just going to keep working along here with the light brown. And again, you are simply going to single crochet around, so no increasing or decreasing. And we'll meet back at the end of round 8, excuse me. Here is a look at round 8 completed. As you can see, we've done round 7 and 8, which is with the light color after the dark color change. And now we're going to pause actually in the body to crochet the ears. And we're also going to use this time to make that center stripe going through the head. And we're going to sew on the muzzle and also attach the eyes. So a lot of different things we're doing here before we finish the body. And the reason for that is because it's so much easier to attach parts to the body and do some sewing, for example, and attach the eyes before we actually close it up. So since I will be using this light brown color again, I'm just going to fasten off with a long tail for now. And this we're going to just kind of reattach more brown yarn, light brown yarn, for the rest of the body later. But for now, this is just going to sit to the side, and I'm going to make sure my working loop is pulled long enough so that it doesn't get loose or get undone. I'm going to start off with that center stripe. I find it easier to do that because then I can kind of section off my doll's head into two parts. And I like to start from the very back, and I find the back to be the part where the color change happens because you don't want that in the front where it's obvious. So I'm just going to insert my hook into that stitch between the two color change stitches, and I'm going to attach this light brown yarn for the center stripe. Again, if you are making Bluey, you are going to be using the light brown color, light blue color for the center stripe. So with light brown here for Bingo, I'm pulling it through, and we're going to use the surface slip stitch technique to go all the way around. First, I pull the yarn through and make a chain. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch. You can see that I'm working up towards the top of the head here. So I'm going to insert my hook under the next stitch, pull yarn through for a slip stitch. We're going to keep doing that. So go under the next stitch, pull yarn through for a slip stitch. And keep working all the way up the head. As you can see, I'm going up and I've made it midway to the top. We're going to keep going along the edge. You can fold your piece from time to time to make sure that your stripe is still centered. Alright, and what you can do is you can actually go, you don't have to go all the way down to that last stitch, because what you'll add in is the muzzle for your dog, which is going to cover that last bit anyway. So if you want to take out a stitch or so, let's see, then the part where your muzzle goes on won't be too bulky. So I'm actually going to stop here just a little before the end of the round. Or let me see. Let me take off one more stitch here. Okay. I'm going to leave the last two rounds unworked, and I'll snip off yarn for that center strip. And once you fasten off, you're going to just weave in the ends, so I'm pulling it right back through into the body and pulling the back starting tail through as well. So it should look something like this. And again, I left the last two rounds unworked so that my muzzle won't be too bulky sitting on top. You can crochet all the way down if you want to, but here's how that centers, that surface slip stitch looks, and it gives a nice and neat look. Now let's go ahead and crochet the ears. Have the doll facing you. This is the front of my doll, and here is the back with the color change. So doll facing you, we're going to start with the doll's left ear. And we're going to crochet the ear over round 2 and 3 of the head. Here's round 1, 2, and 3. You're going to insert your hook under a stitch in round 3 where you want the ear to go. So you might want to fold your doll in half to see where the that midpoint is. And after you insert your hook under a stitch in round 3, you're going to attach your yarn like so. Then you're going to make a chain half double crochet in that same stitch, make a chain, half double crochet into the next stitch, and the next stitch is going under round 2 here. Then make a chain, and then you're going to fasten off and basically pull this yarn tail back into the head. So here I'm going to go ahead and fasten off with a long enough tail for tying. Here's another reason why I like to crochet the ears while the head is still open, so I can tie all the loose ends inside and not worry about my stitches coming undone. Alright, so flipping it inside out, you'll see that here's where the ear is, and here are the 2 yarn tails for the ear. I'm going to tie it securely inside. Triple knot it, and that way the ear will be nice and secure in the head. Now, that's that for the inner part of the ear. For the outer ear, we're going to go ahead and grab the darker blue yarn, or darker brown yarn for Bingo. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this outer ear color to the first chain that you made back when you did the ear. So let me insert my hook into that first chain and attach that dark brown yarn. Then you're going to make a chain, and then you're going to make a single crochet where you did the half double crochet earlier. Make a chain, single crochet in the next stitch, and slip stitch. Sorry, it's a little hard to find my stitch here. Trying to get into both loops. Oops. There we go. And then you're going to slip stitch into that very last stitch. When you do that, you've basically created an outer trim along the light brown color. And you're going to fasten off with a tail. And you're going to pull the starting and ending yarn tails into the body. And if you want, you can go ahead and pinch the ears a bit to give it that pointy shape, like so. You're going to, again, tie the loose ends inside. I'm going to triple knot it like I did with the first set of yarn tails. And that's that for the ear. You're going to repeat the same exact instructions over round 2 and 3 on the other side of the ear. Do exactly the same. The only difference is you're starting on round 2, and then your second stitch is going to be on round 3. So your first stitch going into round 2 here, around here. And I'm going to go through this quickly and silently so you can take a look at how it's done. Alright, decide to talk in case that helps you. Chain, half double crochet, chain, half double crochet in that next stitch in round 3, and chain. And we're going to go ahead and fasten off with a long tail. We're tying inside of the head. And now for repeating the next part, I'm going to attach my yarn under the first chain that attach my hook under the first chain I made. Make a chain, single crochet in the next stitch, make a chain, single crochet in the next stitch, oops, and then slip stitch into the last stitch. Then fasten off with a long tail, and that's going to go inside of the head. By now you have a bunch of yarn tails in the head, which I guess will mean you can stuff your doll a little less and save on the stuffing. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and tie those dark brown yarn tails together. Also triple knotting here. Alright, and it may help for you to kind of readjust your ears a little bit by pulling on them and pinching them to make the tips nice and sharp. Now we can go ahead and sew the muzzle to the face. If you haven't already, embroider a small black nose, using black thread or black yarn and a yarn needle. Then take your muzzle, place it to the center of the face, like so, and we can go ahead and stitch it down. I just go slow, stitch by stitch. When you are ready to attach the plastic safety eyes, go ahead and grab some 12mm eyes, or you could go bigger or smaller if you'd like. And I put them between either rounds 4 and 5, like up here, or you could put them one round lower between rounds 5 and 6. So it depends on what kind of look you'd like for your amigurumi. But for Bingo here, I like her eyes set a little lower between rounds 5 and 6. And if you take a look at Bluey here, I put her eyes between rounds 4 and 5, which is a little bit higher. After you are satisfied with where you've set your eyes in, you can go ahead and attach the backings. And if you struggle with putting on the backings, you can go ahead and check out this tool that I have for attaching plastic safety eyes. It's linked in the description. It helps attach them securely. As you can see, really nice and tight now. And I don't have to hurt my fingers when I'm putting them in. So I can usually manage to kind of get them in place, but as you can see, they're really hard to push in. So these safety eye snappers are just perfect for that. And here's my little Bingo's eyes. Alright, so that was a lot just now, putting in the stripe, the ears, the muzzle, and the eyes. And now we can go ahead and continue with the body. For the next round of the body, round number 9, we're going to single crochet 4, increase, and repeat that 4 times around for a total of 24 stitches. So here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets and an increase in the next stitch. Repeat that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets and an increase in the next stitch. And since I cut my yarn earlier to do the ears and the stripe, I've now run out, so I need to go ahead and attach more of this brown yarn. Okay, let's continue. Single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. Last repetition, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and an increase. Now, for rounds number 10 to 11, all you're going to do is just single crochet around. We will meet back when round 11 is complete. Now I have single crocheted around for 2 more rounds, rounds 10 and 11, and I'm going to go ahead and move into round 12. For round 12, you're going to single crochet and decrease around 8 times for a total of 16 stitches. Here's what it'll look like. Single crochet and then a decrease by stitching 2 stitches together. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, and let's do this all the way around. Now we are going to go ahead and insert stuffing into the body. For this very last round, round number 13, all we're going to do is decrease around. When you decrease around, you'll end up with a total of 8 stitches. Feel free to add any last bits of stuffing to your Amigurumi doll's body. After you finish with round 13, you can go ahead and fasten off with a long tail, which you'll use for sewing and sewing this opening shut. Let's go ahead and make the arms and the legs. To start, we're going to begin round 1 with 2 chains. So here's my slip knot to start the chain. Then it's 1 chain and 2 chains. Then you're going to insert 4 single crochets in that second chain from your hook. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4 chains, or single crochets, excuse me. And then you're going to single crochet around. So insert a single crochet in each stitch. That's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, and I need to turn my little piece inside out here, so I'm going to kind of squeeze that part out. The right side needs to come out. It's a little fiddly when it's so small. Alright. And I'm going to insert my hook into the last stitch for my 4th single crochet. Alright, finishing up round 2 here, we're going to switch colors to the light brown yarn, or whatever color you want for the body. That's going to make up the last 2 rounds of the arm, or the last round of the leg. After you attach the new color, you're simply going to single crochet around for a total of 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you want to make the legs, you can go ahead and stop at just this round. But if you want to make the arms, they're just slightly longer. The arms have 1 more round, so let me make the arms here. You're going to go ahead and do 1 more round with single crochets around for 1, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, and 4. And that, with the 2 rounds, will make up the arm. And you're going to repeat that instruction. Fasten off with a long tail, by the way. You're going to use that tail for sewing the arm to the body. So here you can see, here's a little arm that's going to go right to the side of the body. Bluey's arms and legs are shown here as well. Just 4 rounds for the arms and 3 rounds for the legs. That's round 1 and 2 in white and round 3 in blue, light blue, and that's it. Let's go ahead and make all the limbs. Let's crochet the tail. For the tail, we're going to start off with round 1, 2 chains, and then 4 single crochets in that second chain from your hook. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to insert a single crochet and then increase all the way around. That's 2 repetitions. So in that first single crochet, you're going to just insert 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, increase. In the next stitch, a single crochet. And in that last stitch, an increase. And you can go ahead and push your piece inside out so that the right side faces out and the wrong side goes in. Then you are going to start on round 3. For round 3, you're just going to single crochet around, and that's 6 stitches total. After single crocheting around for those 6 stitches, you can go ahead and switch yarn colors. I'm switching to the light brown yarn for Bingo here. And, oops, sorry, I'm just gonna pull through with my new color. This is the lazy way to change yarn colors. Then single crochet around for this round. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to decrease in single crochet 4. So in these next 2 stitches, I'm going to crochet them together. Decrease, single crochet 1, single crochet 2, single crochet 3, and single crochet 4. I'm going to snip off that white yarn because it's no longer needed. This way it won't get in my way. Now for round 6, you're going to decrease and single crochet 3. So in this first stitch, I'm going to decrease here, decrease, single crochet 3, that's 1, 2, and 3, and that's that for the tail. You can go ahead and fasten off with a long yarn tail because you will use that to sew to the body later. And you want to stick in all the yarn ends, so whatever's poking out, just use a yarn, the back of a yarn needle to push that back into the piece. Once you have finished crocheting the different parts, you should have the head and the body piece, the 2 little legs, 2 little arms, and also the tail. Now for the final part of this pattern, you're going to put everything together by sewing them to the body. I like to start off with the arms. For the arms, you're going to go ahead and sew them right in between the color change here, between the dark and the light colors. That is round 6 to round 7. As a little trick for getting the thick plush yarn through the yarn needle, I just tug it on, tug it like this, and wiggle through. And find out where you want the arms to go into the side, and just go ahead and stitch it on. Go ahead and repeat on the other side. After you have the 2 arms sewn on, it's time to sew the tail and the 2 little legs to the body. The tail and the 2 legs will go between rounds 11 to 12. So counting down from the top, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Right between 11 and 12 is a good spot. And you'll want to find where the center of your doll's body is. And go ahead and stitch the tail onto the body. After you stitch the tail on, you're going to do the same for the 2 legs. Just sew them to the front between rounds 11 and 12. Finally, when you have the little legs and the tail and the arms all sewn on, it's time to sew the opening of the body shut. What I like to do is to go stitch by stitch, working only in the front loops and putting a running stitch going back and forth. So I'm going into the first front loop and out the next front loop, into the next front loop and out the next front loop, and repeating that around until I get back to the beginning. When you've gone all the way around, go ahead and just pull your yarn tail and you'll see that the opening cinches shut in a very tidy manner, like so. And you can go ahead and weave in your yarn tail. Here's the finished look for Bluey and Bingo, and I hope you really enjoyed this crochet tutorial. These are cute little quick projects, as you can see, and they make lovely little plushes, perfect for tiny hands or as keychains and backpack buddies. Thank you so much for watching and happy crocheting. Bye now!